things we do very effectively is increase word-of-mouth referral business. In the industry, we call it a reticular activator, but that's really nothing more than top-of-mind awareness. People have a natural tendency to talk about things they've just heard. So again, our job is to take that captive audience, capitalize on it, expand their knowledge base, and have them talk about your business to their associates. If an organization does educational forums, trade shows, seminars, we can promote that information, increase awareness and traffic to those. Obviously, that information becomes historic, thus the need to change. A lot of people think about custom on-hold messaging being sales messages. For the most part, that's not the case. For the most part, it's education. If we educate the callers, they'll make the right decisions. The difficulty is that customers typically need to hear something 2, 3, 4 times before they're ready to move on that purchase. But by the time they get to you, we've already taken care of that. So they've heard it quite a few times. Let's see, what else? Sometimes our client's primary goal is their corporate image. We have clients that have been in business 2 weeks, they sound like they've been there 50 years. It might be a 3-man operation, they sound like a Fortune 500 company. That's our job, that's what we do. We'll talk about experience, expertise, highlight the key personnel. If a client gets any press, we'll talk about those things. We're continually updating the messages to make them current, relevant, and specific. From a customer service standpoint, the first thing we want to do is engage the caller and reduce the perception of hold time. Let me share a couple of statistics with you. If you were to look at our client base as a whole, with the exception of call centers, hold times really aren't very long. The average hold time for our clients are 30 to 45 seconds. It's not very long. However, if you compare that to a radio spot, the average radio commercial is 15 or 20 seconds. So with a 30 to 45 second hold time, your exposure is 2 to 3 times that of a radio spot, plus it's to your exact target audience. However, 30 to 45 seconds isn't very long. But if I was to stand up here and not say anything for about 10 seconds, it's going to get pretty uncomfortable. So we engage the caller and reduce that perception of hold time. It also elevates the perceived level of customer service. Because even though someone's not personally talking to that client, they're getting information that's of value, of service, they're getting an education. One of the things we can do very effectively in that short period of time is drive the callers to the website. They'll get a wealth of information there that they wouldn't have otherwise. We can even take them to specific areas. If you have promotions or specials or discount coupons or a new product line, we can take them to the area in which you want them to see. And of course, as you'll hear in some of the next presentation, the more hits you get to your website, the higher up you move on the search engine. So it kind of serves a double purpose. Okay, well, I guess that's really enough about that. The point is there's a multitude of reasons our clients utilize our services. Nothing we do is generic. It's all customized, and it's geared towards the goals and objectives of the client. Let me talk a little bit about how the process works. The typical message that we write, each production is about 3 to 4 minutes long, and it plays in a continual loop. So when a call comes in and is placed on hold, it will enter the message wherever it is in play. So we take that message and we break it up into anywhere between 5 to 7 independent, we'll call them paragraphs, but basically they're issues, items, topics, headlines. Company information, products and specials, website, promotions and discounts, events, whatever the case may be. 5 to 7 paragraphs based on some homework we do. Totally transparent to the client, but we look at what are the average hold times, how many aspects of the business should we be talking about in this particular 3 to 4 minute message, because we know the frequency at which we're going to change it based on the customer's preference. And how often do the same callers call back? The idea is keep the paragraph short, keep the sentences succinct so the callers always have a full thought. And if you have the same customer call back 5 times in a week, the probability is that there's something different each time they call. Now, how do we determine what it is we're going to say for a client? When we get authorization to move forward, there's two things that happen in the first 2 days. One is the client gets a welcome packet from the scriptwriter who's been assigned to their account. In the welcome packet is a 2-page scripting outline, some instructions, and the scriptwriter's contact information in case you want to have dialogue with the scriptwriter while you're filling this out. You can also do this online. There's a tab on our website that says scripting outline. Some people like to collaborate, some people like to do it electronically. In either case, it takes about 20 minutes to fill this out, and you only need to do it once, regardless of how long you're a client or how frequently you're changing your message. It's just the foundation from which we work. So we give the audience information, name of the company we'll be working with, website, email address, phone, fax, days and hours of operation. The client will tell us the frequency in which they want us to change the messages. We sell this in packages, and I don't promote one package over the other. It's really based on the dynamics of the organization and how the customer wants it to work for them. We can change it once a year, twice a year, quarterly, 4 times a year, or unlimited. The client chooses based on how they want it to work for them. It used to be all we offered was unlimited changes because it's so reasonably priced and it offered our clients all the freedom in the world. We found that everybody needs that. It's perfectly suited for companies who run monthly specials and promotions and discounts. Companies who do a multitude of other types of advertising. Maybe they do mass emails or flyers or handouts. One of the things we do very effectively is work in conjunction with other forms of advertising and draw attention to that and help increase, again, the ROI from the other forms of advertising. Car dealerships, for example, they all want the unlimited. They want new messages every week because every week there's new dealer incentives, financing packages, options, inventory. But a lot of our clients or businesses are more seasonal. If we're doing an HVAC company, they have 4 agendas. They need to educate and motivate their callers on what to do in the summer, winter, spring, and fall. Doctors typically want to talk about flu season, allergy season, cold season. They need a bio. If we're doing a call center where it's not about generating revenue, it's just engagement, entertainment, or education, we change theirs twice a year, that's plenty. But we find we do have to change it with some frequency. Otherwise, it's kind of like going to church and hearing the same sermon every Sunday. It's not that the information isn't true or valuable, but pretty soon nobody's listening. If they're not listening, we're not impacting the business. So we're very targeted. We ask for, what are the primary goals and objectives? We come to understand that. You set the tone of the message based on the corporate culture. A lot of that has to do with background reasons. Who are your callers? Why are they calling? What are the most frequently asked questions? I want to touch briefly on some of the things we do to differentiate ourselves. We already talked about making sure that we understand the goals and objectives and how the client wants us to impact their business. Writing and producing specifically to that, doing everything in our power to give them measurable results. There's a couple other things we do differently. One is when the client tells us the frequency in which they want us to change their message. For example, they say, we want to do 4 changes a year. Those 4 changes are available to the client whenever they want. They may have changed their message last week, something major happens in their organization, they hire a new partner, they open a new location, they bring on a new product line. They can change the message or have us change the message for them whenever they want. It's a phone call to the scriptwriter or an update online where it says scripting outline, update.